Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem Al Shai Bashem Makako Dash. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, I'm going to make this a quick video unless the spirit jump on me. This is, well, the title of this video is Wars and Rumors of Wars. We know that we're months away from the complete destruction of this system, resource system, and the scriptures say, Matthew 24, wars and rumors of wars. Anyway, this is from military.com. It's a magazine. This right here is not a couple of months. Oh no, I'm saying a couple of years ago. This is a 2021 article. It says civilian employee accused of supporting government overthrow barred from Air Force base. Blinken calls disposed Niger leader ahead of expected U.S. declaration that his overthrow was a coup. And that's in the news dated, this was a month ago, 2 months ago. I may come back and read into this article. This is the one that I want. This is as of this year, December 1st, so we're talking 10 days, 9 days ago. Dozens of troops suspected of advocating overthrow of U.S. government, new Pentagon extremism report says. So you know what I want to do? Let me go into this one here. This is military.com, by the way. Covers all branches of the military: Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Space Force. Dozens of troops suspected of advocating overthrow of U.S. government, new Pentagon extremism report says. And you know what nation of people this is. Jay couldn't do that shit. They'll be locked down forever. We all know about January 6th. They were, the majority of them, the mass majority of them, let's say 99.9% of them were so-called Edomites, or people that look like Edomites. Maybe you had a few coons, you know, among them. It says carrying shields covering their faces and holding upside down U.S. flags. In the United States Code, it speaks about U.S. flag held upside down means that they're in distress. So they're saying that the nation is in distress. So their thing is that we got to turn the flag right side up, as you can see. In other words, they can their job is to, we got to take this place down. We got to make it, you know, make America great again. And there's the scriptures speak about if Satan be defied against Satan, how how can that nation? I'm merely paraphrasing. It's written in the scriptures a couple of times. Well, the kingdom against kingdom. How can that nation or system stand? It can't. And right now, as in recent years, that Babylon the Great, has been completely cut in half. The blue states and the red states. It says carrying shields covering their faces and holding upside down U.S. flags, marchers with the alt-right neo-Nazi, so we know what race of people they are. Reclaim America, chant the phrase Reclaim America while marching near the Capitol Saturday, May, because this was some months ago, May of 2023 in D.C. And then you can even listen to it, listen to this article. Matter of fact, that's what I'll go ahead and do.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would...
Dozens of troops suspected of advocating overthrow of U.S. government, new Pentagon extremism report says. An annual Pentagon report on extremism within the ranks reveals that 78 service members were suspected of advocating for the overthrow of the U.S. government and another 44 were suspected of engaging or supporting terrorism. The report released Thursday by the Defense Department Inspector General revealed that in fiscal 2023 there were 183 allegations of extremism across all the branches of military, broken down not only into efforts to overthrow the government and terrorism but also advocating for widespread discrimination or violence to achieve political goals. The statistics indicate the military continues to grapple with extremism following its public denunciations.
It's talking about Edomites that are no longer happy with the current government, state of government. So they're not, here they are talking about us, the Israelites and the extremists. You're not going to hear us make a statement, any real group that's set up by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. We're not going to talk. We're talking. This place will be destroyed based upon prophecy. All we do is we prophesy. That's all we do. If you're doing something outside of prophesying, you're at the range, or this, that, and the third, and that's where your focus is. Your attitude is why you're going out there speaking. Nothing's going to be accomplished with that. Well, we're speaking because, Isaiah 62, what is that, the 6th verse, 6th verse, you know what it says. Matter of fact, you know what, let me go to it and bring it on out. So some precepts are coming to mind. Isaiah 62. See, the sky is red right now, if you know what I mean. I have set watchmen over thy walls, talking about the prophets. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem is a people before it's a place, which shall never hold their peace. In other words, we're going to speak. We're going to constantly speak, constantly do videos, constantly be on the highways and the byways. Shall never hold their peace. You got certain individuals. You had High Priest Kazak. He came on the scene, did a couple of guest appearances on some YouTube videos, but talking about that we're out of order. These camps are out of order, and he's here to set us back in order. Nobody's gonna listen to him, because our question would be this: where was you for the last 20 plus years? Okay, so you just can't come out. you do a disappearing act, and all of a sudden you show up and you got the cure. That ain't happening. All right. It says so. It says shall never hold their peace, meaning we're gonna run our mouths concerning the prophecies. And most of the camps, even camps outside of GMS, most of the scriptures that we go into are prophetic scriptures of the Armageddon, of the end of this system and the beginning of our system. It says, day nor night, ye that make mention of Yahweh, bold, all caps, which is Yahweh. So if you're a prophet, you claim to be a prophet, the first thing I'm going to ask you is, are you a prophet of who? I'm the prophet of the Lord. What is his name? Well, we really don't know his name. Run away. Don't walk away. Run away from that person. He's a false prophet. Keep not silence. This one last video that was up yesterday, I was watching IUIC, one of the brothers, because they're all Israelites. At the end, they still are brothers. One of them opened up with, what did he say? All praises to the Most High. He didn't even say Christ, because he knows it. Well, I don't know. Maybe he forgot to say it. But see, when we hear Christ, if you say the word Christ, you're using it for an example. I can say Christ, 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 Christ. What do you mean to her by saying Christ? Are you pray? Nope, I'm saying the word Christ. I read it in the magazine. I saw it in the Bible. And then you identify the word Christ is Greek or Latin, because Christos or Christus in Latin and Greek sounds almost the same, identical. And it just means to be christened. That's where you get the word christened from. There's an oil called Crisco oil, which goes back to what? Christened. In the Hebrew, it's anointed. In the English, it's anointed. So the word in the Hebrew would be a Messiah or Mashiach. And it's just a title. It is a title. It's not a name, it's a title. So when you say Jesus the Christ, you're saying Jesus, the name, and his title, the Messiah. But there was no J in the Hebrew. So the word there would have to be a Yah. It's an extension of the Yah. And we've covered that by a man by the name of Trissino, a father of the Renaissance language. He added, what was it, 4 extra letters to the Greek and or Hebrew alphabet. So like the V, that's an extension of the W. So you can look them up. I'm not going to look them up for you. So it says, I will set up watchmen. It says, ye that make mention of Yahweh, keep not silence, and give him no rest till he establish, until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. Now I said the scriptures speak about wars and rumors of wars, right? You have these nations gearing up for war to protect themselves against, the scriptures say, a strong man armed. What does it say? Let me go into that. Strong man armed. I believe that's the phrase. Armed. Let's see what comes up. Luke 11 verse 21. When a strong man armed keepeth his palace, his goods are in peace. So what this government and other governments have done through the years was take away your, well, we'll take care of you, and they take your arms, the thing that protects your home. And if there's a coup, there's no way to fight against another nation because you don't have no arms because the previous government took your arms. And sometimes you have governments take arms for the safety of the system, but then another group will come along and take him down because there's nobody to protect him or the people. That's why when the Constitution was put together, you had a militia. You had an unorganized militia, which every male U.S. citizen, or it even said, not even if you're living in the U.S., you're a resident, a denizen. Look that word up. Denizen is a resident outside of the country. They're not a complete U.S. citizen, but they've been living here. They might have been born here. I'm sorry, they might have been born in their country, and their parents came to the Americas when they were 1 year old. Technically, they're a citizen of that country because they were born in that country. So the militia consisted of people like them. So you got people that came to America and decided to stay, don't have a citizenship. They're still considered militia, unorganized militia. Anywhere from the age of 18 to 25, or 18 to 45, but initially 18 to 25. But then it goes up to 45, I believe, whether you're a citizen or not, and you're on the soils of America. These people, these able-bodied men that are coming across the border, which includes Moab, Arab individuals, African individuals that they're sweeping up with the people of Venezuela. They're setting up an army. They're dealing with the able-bodied men that are between those ages, 17 to 25. So that's what keeps this nation strong. That's what made America strong, because it had a number of wars. Spanish American, French American, Revolutionary War, Civil War. They had several wars with Gad. Some of them, they lost a lot of those wars with Gad. But eventually they took over Gad, Genesis 49. That's a history of war right there. And Russia is the two powers, powers. Now there's three. You got Russia, the U.S., and China. And it's going to be Russia, the kingdom from the north, that's going to ultimately shoot missiles on its place. And the prophets see everything. They see the mushroom cloud, the light in the skies, in the darkness in the daytime, in noonday, Psalms 91. Armageddon. Armageddon is that major war where the troops, the word Armageddon just means gathering of the troops. What is it? Mountain of troops. Hamagad one. Hamagad. Hamar means mountains or mountain or mountains. God meaning troops. Gad, God meaning troops. The one makes it like, plural. Yum in the Hebrew. So they don't realize. Matter of fact, let me do this. Do it this way. Revelation 16. Armageddon. Unclean sex spell coming out. Peace and mouth. You know what I'm going to do? Let me go to we know what Armageddon means. We know what it's all about. I want to go to just to see what the let me do this. Bear with me for a minute. So this is what we're supposed to be talking about. Okay, and he gathered them together. And that's Gog and Magog in Revelation chapter 20. When Gog and Magog, they're gathering together for Armageddon. And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue, Armageddon. Hamagadwan, mountain of troops. So let's go to Cambridge. I normally go to them because they're the shortest. The muster for the Battle of Armageddon. Also mentioned in Revelation chapter 20, Gog and Magog, Ezekiel chapter 38, Revelation 16:16, and he gathered them more properly, and they, the unclean spirits, that's talking about the three city-states, D.C., the military city-state, London, the financial, economic, and political state, and Vatican City is the spiritual state, which they're represented as devils. Gathered them. The sentence goes on from the end of Revelation 16:14, for they are the spiritual devils, right? Revelation 16:15, behold, I come as a thief. That's 2 Peter 3 and 10 on down. I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watches, and we're watching. We're doing this every day, so you can't say we're not watching. We're doing videos every day, so we're thinking upon his name, Baruch. What is that? Baruch 2:35, I believe. And to think upon his name, what it means was to do these videos, to understand the scriptures, and keeps his garments. What is a garment? We're covered with this truth, lest he walk naked. Hey, truth be told, Gazak was naked. He was naked for 20 years, or however many years. And he came back, and then when he came back, he said the sign is wrong. What else did he say? Oh, he said that there's an actual hell, that you can burn in hell forever. So he's coming with a completely different gospel. You know what the Galatians 1 says. And you think I'm going to get together with him and he's going to teach me that there's an actual place called hell? You think I'm going to listen to that shit? You zombies will. His garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. So pretty much we shamed him, because the first question you're going to ask a man is, where you been for the last umpteen years? Armageddon. The spelling which has the best authority is Armageddon, which was close. Ham or Hama meaning mountain. The meaning, according to as we read, Ar or Har is the city. Nope, it's not the city. Yaror will be a word in the Hebrew for city, or mountain. Right, mountain. The word is mountain. Now I understand why they say city, because the city is a government, or Megiddo, but the insertion of in the Hebrew tongue perhaps indicates that the meaning of the name Megiddo, which is apparently cleaving, is more important than the geographical note. There is some truth, though some exaggeration, in the description of the plain of Esdraelon as the battlefield of Palestine. But it is going to be in the Middle East. It's going to be in the Great Levant. But the only occasion when Megiddo is mentioned is in connection with a battle. Judges mentioned different battles in Kings and in Judges. Zechariah 12 verse 11. Let's see what that says. In that day shall there be a great mourning in Jerusalem, as the mourning of the Hedrimam, the valley of Megiddo. Of course, Megiddo, or its neighborhood, the mountain of Megiddo, might be Tabor, or that conventionally called a little Haman, a little mountain, may be the destined scene, gather the overthrow of the anti-Christian powers, but it is hardly to be assumed as certain. Zechariah 14, 5, 4 and 5, you got to read that whole chapter. And his feet shall stand the letters of real light in that day on the Mount of Olives. And that's symbolic. That means the Lord is going to be present, which is before Jerusalem, and the east and the Mount of Olives shall be split in the middle. That's parabolic. Therefore, toward the east and toward the west, and there shall be a very great valley, and half of the mountain shall remove toward the north, and half of it toward the south, which is symbolic. The Mount of Olives. Okay, and Joel, really you got to read that whole chapter. It speaks about their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. So what Zechariah saw was what all the prophets saw, the destruction of the system. Joel 3 verse 12. And they know that this is a future prophecy. It says, let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat, Yahweh's judgment. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And the list of the heathen is in Psalms 83. The valley of Jehoshaphat, wherever that is. It just means judgment. It's not a place. There's no place called, we're in the valley of judgment. It just means the Yahweh's judgment. But it's going to be located in the Middle East, in the Levant. It must be a proper name, though a significant one, but it is a convention and an improbable one that identifies it with the gorge of Kidron, seem to be represented as a scene of judgment. They know it's a future thing. Let me look at this one real quick. Bear with me, then I'm gonna close. Matthew Henry's concise commentary. This probably shows the destruction of Turkish power in the idolatry, and that the way will be made for the return of the Jews, which are the Israelites, or take it for Rome as mystical Babylon, right? Mystical Babylon, as opposed to ancient Babylon, is the USA. The name of Babylon being put for Rome. They're right on that. This is the new Rome. That 1,000 years when they shall be loose is talking about their deadly wound being healed, which was meant, but was not then to be directly named. See, I'm just preaching to the choir. This is for some of you newer ones, but I'm reading this to show you that they're saying. So when somebody says, when vocab says, "Well, y'all just making it up," your Christian scholars are saying the same thing that we say. They mention a mystical Babylon. Is mystical Babylon ancient Babylon? No. Rome, which is meant directly named by, when Rome is destroyed, Rome wasn't utterly destroyed. You can still go to Rome. Her rivers, and her merchandise must suffer with her. That's Revelation 18, one of my favorite prophecies. And perhaps a way will be open for the Eastern nations to come into the church of Christ. The Israelites come into the truth, the kingdom. The great dragon will collect all his forces, and we know who the great dragon is, interchangeable with the word beast, to make one desperate struggle. That's your Gog and Magog in Revelation 20. So when Bishop Nate says, "Oh, we're going to be in the kingdom for 1,000 years," Revelation 20 verse 4, and then at the end of the 1,000 years, Gog is going to. Well, if that's the case, and we know that, wouldn't we be watching? Wouldn't we be saying, "Well, this is year 999. Let's lock these Edomites up for 2 years. Let's lock them up, because we know they're going to try to come." So if we lock them up and we're watching them, how in the hell are they going to escape and come attack us? Because we already know, thanks to Bishop Nate. No, he just made that up. He's trying to sound deep. He said to make one desperate struggle before all be lost. Right, they come down with great wrath, knowing that they have but a short time. The Most High warns of this great trial to engage his people to prepare for it. Who are preparing for us? Going through the scriptures. What does Malachi 3:16 say? Read that. These will be times of great temptation. Revelation 3 verse 10. Therefore the Messiah, by his apostle calls on his professed servants, the elect, expect his sudden coming. What it means, she shall come quickly, meaning when he comes, everything gonna move quick. The destruction is gonna only take an hour. Where you ever hear of a war that took place in an hour, and one country took over another country in an hour? A good example would be when ancient Babylon was taken down. A building there was not one arrow being shot. The king and the lords got their throats cut. And to watch that they might not be put to shame, Revelation 16, I believe that's 14, to be found naked, and they see his shame, as apostates, or hypocrites. See, High Priest Gazak is looking like a hypocrite. Because for him to say the Lord is working with him, I said, well, wait a minute. What happened for 20 years or 25, whatever, how many years? I'm going to look up the word apostate or hypocrites, or however Christians or Israelites differ as to their views of the time and season of events yet to be brought to pass. We know this is a build-up. The Israel-Gaza situation, it's a build-up. The Russia-Ukrainian war is a build-up. Various terrorist attacks, terrorism is back in fashion, so to speak. On the one point, all agreed the Messiah, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, the Lord or Kyries of glory, will suddenly come again to judge, which is now, so they know that, to judge the world. To those living near the Messiah, who's close to the book, behold, I come in the volume of the book. It is an object of joyful hope and expectation, and daily is not desired by them, and delay is not desired by them, because we want the Lord to hurry up and come. So, we come back over here. So let's listen to the rest of this.
A stand down across the services ordered by Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin in 2021. Furthermore, the numbers do not make it clear whether the military's approach is working. In 2021, the year the data was first released to Congress, there were 270 allegations of extremist activities. In 2022, that figure dropped to 146 before rebounding over the past year. Airmen's remains recovered from Osprey crash off coast of Japan, 7 others listed as whereabouts unknown.
Yeah, so there's the good old boys that went into the military with their own agenda.
The Army had the most allegations in fiscal 2023 with 130 soldiers suspected of participation in extremist activity. The Air Force suspected 29 airmen. The Navy and Marine Corps...
The majority of them people, a lot of those people that was at the January 6th incident, 2021, they were former or current military. Now they got military guys, ex-military or current military, that are going out shooting up Walmarts and so forth, because they want to put that label on their back that they're terrorists too, homegrown terrorists.
Reported 10 service members each. For the first time, the Inspector General also reported numbers for the Space Force as a separate entity from the other services it suspected 4 guardians of extremism.
Space Force to fight against the aliens? I mean, well, aliens mean traveler. The angels coming, and they're gonna get wiped out. Yahweh Shai and the angels gonna have fun on that day. They're gonna wipe them out.
The IG report also included instances of alleged criminal gang activity. There were 58 allegations of gang activity across the military. However,
so you got gangs all in the military. You got gangs in the prison system, and these gangs, by the way, are based upon race. You have the neo-Nazi white gangs, the so-called black gangs, the Mexican gangs, whatever other group of people that you got in there, the Filipino gangs, the Russian gangs, and a lot of gang members join the military. A lot of gang members become police officers. You know? So this system is falling. This is not a moral system, because you fail to teach your children morals. See, we learned some sort of morals back when we were kids. Back when I was a kid, you always had a man in the house. To now, you raise up in single mother households. See, most Jake men back when I was a kid, most of them had jobs. They wasn't on the corner like they are now. They might be after work, but most Jakes were working, and they stay with their woman. If they broke up with their woman, another man will come in. Stepfather thing. Jake, most Jake, not all of them, but most of the majority of them are sperm donors. They lay their seed down and they keep it moving. So a woman can't raise a daughter or a son. You need both. You need a father. There's studies on that. They said a woman that was raised up in a home with father and mother, they get married, they emulate what their father and mother did. Single family households, they're promiscuous. The boys wind up getting in trouble back and forth in the system. They showed you that in Boys in the Hood. One of the characters, Lawrence Fishburne, he said, watch what happens to you and watch what happened to them. at the end of the movie, his son was going to college, I believe. And the one son wanted to go to college, and the other one was a drug dealer / gangbanger. You know. And then the woman was trying to get Lawrence Fishburne to get with her, because a woman is always looking, a woman with a functional brain, because the majority of y'all got demons on you. Your brains are not functioning right. Deep down inside, a woman really wants a man. The scriptures tell you that a woman, not so many words, that's a harlot, that's in the Apocrypha, hates a woman that a decent woman. I'm just merely paraphrasing it. I'm not going to go look for it, because deep down, you want to become this righteous woman.
The report did note that, out of all the suspected extremism and criminal gang activity, 68 of the total cases were investigated and cleared or deemed unsubstantiated. In the U.S., extremist act.
So that means what? That they're falsely accusing guys. If a guy does something, they say, we think he's one of them good old boys. Then they do an investigation, they find out all he wasn't.
Activity, including neo-Nazi, white supremacist and anti-government movements, has been growing, and numerous violent plots by veterans and even...
So neo-Nazis, according to what they're saying, they're against the government. They want to bring a Hitlerian government back. You can't control the people no more. You can't control the people no more, because these presidents, back in the day, you had a sense of connecting to the president. You know, everybody knows that these presidents are corrupt. That they work for the bankers and these corporations. They know that the Congress, the Congress is corrupt. President is corrupt. Government is corrupt.
Active duty troops have been thwarted in recent years. Experts on extremist movements have warned about the growing potential of more violence and future attacks, similar to the Oklahoma City Federal Building bombing in 1995 that killed 168 and was carried out by an Army veteran. In February, a former National Guardsman, Brandon Russell, who founded the Atomwaffen Division, a neo-Nazi hate group, was charged with plotting to blow up Baltimore's electrical grid and cause as much suffering as possible. Russell, who allegedly kept a framed photo of Oklahoma City bomber Timothy McVeigh, was sentenced to 5 years in prison in 2018 after an arrest in Florida for possessing explosives. In the wake of the January 6 siege of the U.S. Capitol building, the Pentagon tried to make a show of dealing with the problem of extremism among troops after it became clear that veterans...
So why are they worrying about the Israelites? Anytime we go out there, we prophesy. We do say that this place is going to, the U.S. is going to be destroyed. But it's going to be destroyed according to the Most High and His beloved Son. And it's going to be destroyed based upon prophecy. You cannot turn around prophecy. America is not Nineveh. You can't go on the fast and all of a sudden the Most High say, okay, I forgive you. Because that's not going to happen. There's too many bugged out people out there. Ain't no president going to get the whole nation to bow to the Most High and go on the fast. That shit ain't happening, man. Remember in Nineveh, when they went on that fast, the animals went on the fast. Animals worrying about, this is about the time that I should eat. Where's the food at? Where the hoes at? Inside joke.
As well as some active duty troops were among the mob that stormed the halls of Congress in an effort to halt the certification of the 2020.
And the majority of them were Edomites. 99.9% were Edomites. And if there was any Jakes or any of the Latin tribes, they're coons.
Election. Military.com has reported that many of those efforts, including the military-wide extremism training stand-down ordered by Austin, were largely symbolic and were widely considered as just another box for commanders to check. One active-duty non-commissioned officer said that, aside from the fact that no one was paying attention at the stand-down briefing he attended, the commander giving the lecture was talking about what he thought were radical groups like Black Lives Matter. The idea that far-left groups are just as problematic as far-right ones is a popular talking point among conservatives and Republican lawmakers. However, law enforcement officials and experts who study the topic have consistently noted that far-right groups espousing anti-government and white supremacist views are the biggest threat to the U.S.
So you're watching out for the Arab terrorists on one end, but then you got to watch your back on the other end, because they're supremacists. I'm not adding to this article. They call it homegrown terrorism.
Today. The report also revealed that other efforts such as screening prospective recruits before enlistment are not working as well as intended. Some recruiters did not complete all of the screening steps, and as a result, militaries...
So they don't know if they got a neo-Nazi, some hell's angel, They don't know that. So you definitely have gang activity in the military based upon race.
Service recruiters may not have identified all applications with extremist or criminal gang associations.
Gangs. A lot of the gang members are joining the military. They join the police. Your police is just nothing but military, man. You know how you prove that? Your police is military. They have the ranking system. Captains, sergeants, lieutenants. Then you have a chief of police, or commissioner would be like a general. And then you have military time among the police. They go by. They don't say I'll be here at 6 o'clock. They say 1800. It's 1800 hours. We did this one thing, and the police detective came up, and I told him we'll be out of here in 1800. And he said, "Was you in the military? How'd you know that?" That proves that the police, your New York police, I don't know about these other sheriffs and sheriff deputies, or your police department is structured as a military. So your first line of defense are your police departments, and the majority of them are ex-military. My brother-in-law, he made a career out of the military, and he's down south. He's a state trooper. He went from the military right into state trooper.
According to the Inspector General report. Further, the audit found that one military service entered data indicating applicants disclosed extremist or gang associations even though the applicants had not made such disclosures, the IG said, but it did not reveal which of the services falsely accused some of its recruits of having extremist ties. What the report does make clear, however, is that when allegations are made, they are being referred for investigation.
By the way, this is fair use.
And when allegations are substantiated, some action is taken. Of all the extremist and gang activity allegations, 135 were reported to military or civilian law enforcement, and 109 of the allegations
military or law enforcement. So a lot of these, the officer that might pull you over, the Edomite officer, he might be a neo-Nazi guy. That's why Jake be getting shot in the back, because these guys are, they really have hate for you.
were reported.
So this country's done.
Reported to another DoD organization or official. Furthermore, 69 of all the allegations were substantiated at the time the report was written, and the vast majority of those 50 were handled through administrative actions. That included involuntary discharge for 19 and counseling in 3 instances, while 17 more were handled by non-judicial punishment and 2 went to court-martial. There were no substantiated cases of extremism or gang activity where no action was taken. While these figures, compared with the overall size of the services, are small, research and experts say that military service members and veterans pose an outsized danger to communities when they go down the path of extremism, given their increased familiarity with firearms and ability to organize and plan effectively.
Boom. When they come back, if they come back to civilian life, you got how many men come back from the military? They know everything about how to take down a country. They done took down countries. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, 2nd Ezra chapter 16, coming to pass.
2020, an Air Force sergeant at Travis Air Force Base in California pulled up to a federal courthouse in Oakland, California, In a white van and opened fire on security guards, killing one before going on the run and murdering a county sheriff's deputy a week later as part of a larger plan to incite a civil war.
Ah, you heard that? Let me see if I can bring that back. This guy was military, ex-military.
Before going on the run and murdering a county sheriff's deputy plan effectively was taken. While these figures...
He killed a county sheriff deputy, which the sheriff deputies are armed. So what happened? He was armed. He got off before the sheriff deputy got off.
Compared with the overall size of the services, are small. Research and experts say that military service members and veterans pose an outsized danger to communities when they go down the path of extremism, given their increased familiarity with firearms and ability to organize and plan effectively. In 2020, an Air Force sergeant at Travis Air Force Base in California pulled up to a federal courthouse in Oakland, California.
An Air Force sergeant, so he knows how to kill. He knows how to break down a weapon. And he was Air Force. He can fly a jet. Your airline pilots are all former Air Force. They retire and they become they become a pilot in a commercial airline. So when they ask for their resume, I've been flying jets and planes for the last 20 years, the last 15 years. Oh, you got the job.
In a white van and opened fire on security guards, killing one before going on the run and murdering a county sheriff's deputy a week later as part of a larger plan to incite a civil war.
He's doing it to incite a civil war. These are not Arabs. These are not BHIs. These are Edomites, Americans, good old boys.
Also in 2020, members of a group that included 2 Marines and styled itself as a modern-day SS were arrested on allegations.
Marines styled themselves as a modern-day SS. SS stands for Schutzstaffel, which goes back to Germany, World War II Germany. The SS, the Schutzstaffel. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Schutzstaffel means, if somebody correct me, I'm not going to look for it. I believe that means secret police. I think it translates into secret police. I could be wrong.
That they were plotting to destroy the power grid in the Northwest. U.S. court records in that case say members discussed recruiting other veterans, stole military equipment,
recruit other veterans, especially the retired ones,
asked others to buy explosives, and discussed plans to manufacture firearms. Konstantin Tarapin can be reached at konstantin.tarapin@military.com. Follow him on X at Tarapin.
Anyway, so y'all heard it. Let me do this. Let me do this. Bear me for a minute. Let me just put in war. Let me go to... Okay, here it is. I found it. Ecclesiasticus 26 verse 28. There be 2 things that grieve my heart, and the third maketh me angry. A man of war that suffereth poverty. What happens in America? These veterans, a lot of them are homeless. And men of understanding that are not set by. That means you got the understanding. You got to, exercise your understanding. When you hear this truth, when you eat this roll, go out and teach this, the house of Israel. And one that returneth from righteousness to sin. Anybody that fell off. Yahweh prepareth such an one for the sword. So the ones of you that fell off and went back in the world, the Most High preparing you unto the sword. The main one I want is a man of war, a warrior that suffers poverty. Let me do one more thing. Where am I? Bear me for a minute. Okay, I don't want this. This is what I want. Then I'm going to close. Homelessness among military vets.
According to Wikipedia, homeless veterans are persons who have served in the armed forces who are homeless or living without access to secure and appropriate accommodation.
That's, I just read it in Ecclesiasticus. How many veterans are homeless in the U.S. 2023? Wow. In 2023, there are 67,000, almost 67.5 thousand homeless veterans. Veterans comprise 10% of all homelessness. So we're talking, this represents 10%. 67. Let's round off to 68. 68. So we're talking almost 700,000 homeless out there. There's more than 500,000 people that are homeless in the U.S. In 2023, there are almost 70,000 homeless veterans. Veterans comprise 10.6% of all homeless in the U.S. and are 2 times as likely to become homeless versus those who didn't serve. Ooh, in the military. They're more likely, they're 2 times likely, more likely as likely to become homeless versus those who didn't serve in the military. So more often, a ex-military becomes homeless. People that are not in the military, it's not as bad. People in the military become homeless quicker than somebody that's not in the military. So what does that mean? A lot of these former military vets, a lot of them they have emotional problems. So this place is done, man. This place is done. You don't care for the people that preserved freedom, as they say. I mean, what did Trump do? Did he call for the no? That's what he should have did. He should have said every homeless veteran will have a home. Biden ain't talking about that. And a lot of them are Jake. You ain't got a good enough job, you join the military. They pay you shit money. Hey, so anyway, with that I'm going to say shalom. I went a little long, but